All right, let's talk about the song at number 40 on my fantasy playlist, Forever Your Girl by Paula Abdul at number 40, up from 42. Paula Abdul, best known particularly for a lot of the younger people on American Idol. Sometimes she was a little bit erratic, but I think back when she was a fantastic dancer. You gotta watch some of her older videos. This woman could dance. As a matter of fact, I knew a girl years ago. She wanted to be a dancer. She was inspired by Paula Abdul. She was going to go to New York, become a dancer. Big Paula Abdul fan. Here's the thing about Paula Abdul. On American Idol, she had a lot of empathy. She was very sympathetic to the contestants. And of course, Simon Cowell had just come down on, well, you're dreadful, you're this and that. Well, even on the most dreadful performances, Paula Abdul would say something encouraging, just give them a little bit of a push, or a little bit of a ray of sunshine, maybe just a sliver of sunshine. And that's because Paula Abdul could relate to them. Because Paula Abdul was not the best singer. And everybody knows that. She knows it. She's not Mariah Carey. She's not Christina Aguilera. She's not Whitney. But she had I'll just say, she had a fantastic radio-friendly voice. Now, on some of the records, from what I've read, her voice was layered over many times, or several times. I'm not sure how many times her voice was layered, but it did enhance her sound. She had a lovely voice. I mean, you don't have to have a fantastic voice to have a hit record. And it was passable. And she was a choreographer. She worked with Janet Jackson. She was a cheerleader. She worked hard. She was a hard worker. Here's what happened with Paula Abdul. And I just found this out researching this about Paula Abdul. Her first hit, I remember her first record, Knocked Out, in 1988. I was impressed. It had a great beat to it. I thought her singing was pretty good. She was bubbly. She was exuberant. And I mean, she was out there. And Knocked Out was put out twice, in 1988, and it was re-released, if I remember correctly, in 1989. I remember these things very vividly, watching these videos on Night Tracks on MTV back in the day. And but I just found out that Knocked Out was produced. She was working with L.A. Reid and Babyface. Now we're talking about two huge producers back in the 80s and 90s. L.A. Reid and Babyface. They came out with Knocked Out, and they worked with Paula Abdul. The sessions did not go well for Paula Abdul. Basically, from what I've been able to pull together, they just told Paula Abdul, you can't sing. Just go home. We'll finish this song ourselves. And see, Paula Abdul had no vocal training, or at least little vocal training at that time, when she worked with L.A. Reid and Babyface. Well, she was devastated. Can you imagine? You go into a recording studio with two ace producers, and they tell you it's not there. Just leave. Don't come back. Well, she teamed up with a guy named Oliver Leiber. Oliver Leiber was the son of Jerry Leiber. Jerry Leiber, who was, of course, he partnered with Mike Stoller, and they came up with these hit records by the Coasters back in the 50s. Wrote the original Hound Dog, covered by Big Mama Thornton. Oliver Leiber was paired with Paula Abdul, and he knew that she took a beating. She took a hit. No amount of takes. There was no amount of takes were too many. Take all the time, coaxed, joked around with Paula Abdul, encouraged her. Her confidence was low. Let's boost her up a little bit. Be patient. Get that chemistry going. And The Way You Love Me, he produced that, Oliver Leiber, and then Forever Your Girl. Produced that. Paula Abdul also, she was tireless. She worked really hard on her voice. It wasn't like she didn't do anything about it. She kind of rose up. And she brought a vocal coach. Might have brought him from Minnesota, or might have flew in from Minnesota, I'm not sure, but she worked with a vocal coach during the early sessions with Oliver Lieber. And the vocal coach helped her with her breathing and with her pitch technique, chiming in during the recording sessions or pre-recording sessions or whatever, or what have you. Gosh dog it. Well, Oliver Lieber, he mentioned this about Paula Abdul's confidence levels, but he wouldn't mention the names of the two producers who really just kind of banged her up. But I'm thinking it was L.A. Reid and Babyface. Kind of surprised because I read a biography about L.A. Reid. He's got a fantastic autobiography out that I read. I really enjoyed it. He seems like a really cool guy. But I got to tell you, sometimes these producers, they can be really rough. Sure can. Well, we got Forever Your Girl, probably one of her most, well, I think one of her best records. For some, this sounds silly, but I found listening to this, listening to her voice, it sounds reassuring. It's almost like it's almost like, gosh, I don't know where I'm at with this woman. I don't know where I'm at with my girlfriend. Is she gonna drop me? And then here comes Paula Abdul. I'll be forever your girl. That melodic voice of hers, incredibly reassuring. Made for a nice pop hit, radio-friendly record, back in the spring and summer of '89. Great dancing, too. Paula Abdul. Forever Your Girl at number 40 on my fantasy playlist, March 18th, 1989.